man, nothing like warming your hands up on a fire on a cold winter night. Welcome to Bray's Woodturning. Tonight we're going to do a Christmas ornament, and we're going to do it out of a piece of wood. I got some white oak here, and it's got some sapwood on the side, and it's going to, I think it'll really make a good ornament. But the thing is that I'm going to make a globe, kind of a globe type ornament, and then I'm going to hollow out the inside so it won't be so heavy on the tree. We'll get into that. Before we do that, I got some tools. One tool I'm going to use is a roughing gouge. A roughing gouge is used just to get the piece round. The second one we're going to use is like a parting tool. This parting tool we use in just about every project. I always like my skew because I'll probably use it a time or two. And then we got a spindle gouge. This is a detail gouge. We'll use that. And then we might even use a bowl gouge to round this thing out and make some shapes on that globe. One thing I want to talk about that I've never really done a video on is hollowing. And we're going to use this as a McNaughton set. And we're going to use this tool right here to hollow the inside. I got a straight one, I got a crooked one, and one that's a little bit bent. That's what we're going to use, and I'll see you at the lathe. Okay, we're here at the lathe, and the first thing I'm going to do, I've got this piece of wood it's called mounting between centers. I got a spur at the headstock end, and of course we got the live center on the tailstock. And we're going to round this piece out. First thing I'm going to do is turn the lathe on. I'm going to step aside. I always step aside when I apply the power. We're going to take this thing up to about between 850 and 900 RPMs. I'm going to put my face shield down so it's going to kind of muffle my voice a little bit, but you'll be able to hear me. Now, I'm going to start out, and I'm just going to move my body. I got 3 points of contact. The tool's going to be on the tool rest. My elbow is going to be tacked in at the side, and the handle is going to be resting on my hip. It's going to be in a slight angle, and I'm just going to round this thing out. I've got this thing rounded out from the roughing part. We're going to do a smooth cut. What I'm going to do on the smooth cut, I'm going to use this roughing gouge, and I'm just going to use this wing parallel. I've got my thumb inside the flute. My index finger is riding along the tool rest. So I'm just going to go down this. And right there I can see, and we're probably going to need to zoom in, and I want you to look at the difference of the cut. Right now I'm going to go and turn a tenon on the back side here so we can load this up in the chuck. Let's flatten this in. Grab my easy wood tool. I like to use it. This is a good time to use your calipers. You can take and get your calipers. You know what your thickness is. I know that this tenon will fit inside of your jaws. One thing I want to do is that I want to take my skew and I want to kind of put a dovetail on this. The jaws are going to grab a hold of that, and there's no way that thing can come out of there unless you get a really, really bad catch. So let's take this apart and we'll be right back. I'm going to load this up with my chuck. Okay, I've got this thing put into my Nova chuck here. And one thing I want to really bring to your attention, when you're cutting that tenon on the end of this, or like I did here, or for a bowl or anything, I don't know if you can see it, but you always want to leave a gap between the bottom of this tenon and the jaws. It does not need to touch down inside that jaw. You get your pressure from the jaws going in and keep it off of the bottom. So I always stop about 1/8 inch from the bottom. That's very important because if you get a catch, what'll happen is it'll get a catch and it'll push off the other side. So that's something just to keep in mind when you're doing tenons. What I got here is a bowl gouge. I'm going to do some shaping on this ornament. So let's turn this lathe on and get started. We're up about 1100 RPMs. I've got the tool like this, and that bottom edge is riding right up against the wood. The top edge is almost touching, but it's not touching. This is called a scrape, and I'm taking this bow gouge and actually just scraping this wood. Now, if I wanted to shear scrape right off of the edge of this toe, I angle this tool up a little bit more, and you can see the difference in the shavings coming off of there. It's very, very fine. A very good method of making something smooth. And since them fibers are running this way in the wood, I want to go down, make sure I go down. This is keeps from lifting those fibers up. If I pull back up the heel this way, it's going to just fold those fibers back the other opposite way. So, do I like that shape? I kind of do. I'm going to shorten the neck on it up here a little bit. And then after I hollow it out, I'll finish this bottom side down here, and I'm going to come down to a sharper point. So let me work on this just a little bit more. I'm not really satisfied with it. Now let's turn it off and just see what kind of shape we got. Got a little bit of tear out right there, and I can sand that out. In fact, I'm going to try to cut some of it out. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I got rid of a lot of it. Okay, I've got this tailstock moved away, and I'm going to take this tenon off. Now let me get some hollowing tools out here, and we'll start hollowing this thing out. What I got here is a drill bit, and I'm going to go on and drill this down because it makes it easier to hollow. And that way I'll already have a hole. I've got a line marked here on my drill bit. That's the depth that we're going. So right here off the lathe, I'll just push it in. Come out. Go back in. All the way down to my line. That's how easy it is just to put a hole in there. That just helps you in the hollowing. Now, let's speed the lathe back up. Now, when you're using that drill bit, you want to slow that lathe down. You don't want it to go real fast. So we'll shoot back up here to about 1,000 RPMs. This tool here is just bent a little bit. It just helps me get around that corner just a little bit. You want to blow this thing out. Okay. And you know, this thing here really doesn't have to be perfect, because all we're doing is just relieving some weight in this Christmas ornament. You know, a Christmas ornament this size would be very heavy if you left the wood in there. Now what I'm going to do on the top here, we'll put a cap of some kind on here, but right now I want to make sure these edges are square. So when I'm going to reverse and jam chuck this, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's go on and start finishing on the bottom and try to get this off of here. let's just turn it off and look at it. And if you're satisfied with it, you're good, and if not, you just kind of start doing something else to make it look good. I think I'll quit on that. That doesn't look too bad, and I love this sapwood in there. We were able to hold that in there. So now let me go off camera. I'm going to sand this, and you don't need to be watching me sand, and we'll come back. Okay, what I've done is I've used a jam chuck. I've reversed this thing and put it on a jam chuck. I'll show you a little bit about that. I have sanded this thing. I'm just going to run over it with some 320 sandpaper just to smooth it up a little bit. I did go on and spray it with some lacquer sanding sealer. Okay, right there is inside that hole. This is a jam chuck that I made. I turned this to where it would fit on there real tight like that. And that's the jam chuck. That's how I do these. I reverse them so I can finish the ends off down here. So now we'll pause this thing and I get set up, and we're going to make a top to fit this. We're going to make a top, and we're going to ebonize that top and make it black. I think it'll go real well with this vase or Christmas ornament. What I've done is turned a little bit of a tenon right here on this back side right here, and I'll show you. And so that will go right on there. That'll go right down in there. And so now I put a line right here. I go in here and I just put a line on there. That tells me how big that is. So I'll turn it on. Turn the lathe on. Get me a pencil mark on there. And then I'll take this down to that mark right there. And that's how big this cap will be, and it'll cover the top of this ornament. So now let me grab my bowl gouge just right now. Just kind of remove some wood here. Drill this hole in here right now, and because that way when I come out the other side, it's going to blow some fibers of wood out. So if I go on and drill the hole and then turn it, if you can see that down in there, there's a bunch of tear out on that back side where the drill come out, and even where it went in. So now I can turn it and it'll turn all those little tear outs away. Let's go on, keep moving down toward the end. Before I go much further, I want to take this and back it away, and I want to try this cap on and see if I need to take off. So I need to take off just a little bit more, and what I might do is just round that edge. I think I'll do that. I'll just round it. So let's slide the tailstock back up there. We don't want no accidents. Put my tail rest back in, tool rest back in place, and I just want to round this off. I got a line on there, and so if I take it over to the line, I should have it, and I'll round this side off. Just like we're doing a little bead. This detail tool is really, really good for this. This one here I bought from Cindy Drozda. She's a very good turner. Does a lot of spindles. I bought her detail gouge and a couple other things from her. Very good wood turner. If you ever get a chance to watch her videos, take advantage of it. Okay. One thing I like to do is when I'm ebonizing anything, I'm going to make this black. I'm going to go and clean my hole out again, where my string is going to go through to tie it, hang it up. I like to ebonize this with leather dye. Yeah, that looks good. That'll look really good once we get it dyed. So let me get some leather dye and I'll be right back. Now this here is just regular leather dye. And I really like this stuff for dyeing stuff black. You want to ebonize it, this is an easy way to do it right here. I just rub it on there. Just like that. Give it a good coat. I want to go right around that bottom there just so it make sure if there's any white sticking there, you don't see it. Let it dry a minute. And I'll just take this thing and just dry it off, just like this. And I keep doing it a couple times here and there. Apply a little bit of pressure. Just like that. I just keep buffing it until nothing's coming off on the rag. And if it looks good to you, you're good. If not, put a second coat on there. So I'm going to call it good right now because I'm going to put some on the top of it. Once I get this thing parted off, we'll just like that. Grab my calipers here and I want to get that. I've already had it measured a while ago. And I want to take my pencil, turn my lathe back on here. Right there it is. Now I'm going to cut me a hole up in there. A little bit loose. I think I can handle it. Grab some sandpaper. Lower down a little bit. I'm just going to set it off and look at it. It don't look bad. Put some dye on it. And right now I'm just going to go on and put some all over it again. Okay, it's not bad. Grab my vase here, our ornament. And that makes for a nice Christmas ornament. I like that. Let me grab some finish, and I'll just shoot a coat of finish on there. We're going to glue this top on. Let me just go on and do that right now. Use a lot of CA glue. Just put some glue right around this little tenon here. Just like that. And this is just a quick set. And I'll spray it on the top here. Just like that. What do you think? And it's light, it's not very heavy at all. Okay, let me grab some lacquer. I'll show you what this thing is going to look like after you get it sprayed. I'll let that dry, and I'll give it about 4 or 5 coats of lacquer. Makes a great video. Thank you for watching tonight, and hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to share. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next video.